Across the world, infrastructure is under pressure. Cities are expanding, energy systems are transforming, transportation networks are aging, digital connectivity is accelerating, and communities everywhere are demanding infrastructure that is resilient, sustainable, and future-ready. Yet despite the scale of global need, critical infrastructure projects continue to face delays or never reach completion at all. The reason is not a lack of ambition, and it is not a lack of capital. It is a lack of alignment. Trillions of dollars in institutional capital are seeking long-term, stable returns. At the same time, governments and sponsors are seeking financing for infrastructure that will define economic growth for decades. Between these forces lies a complex gap, one defined by policy, risk, structure, governance, and execution. Bridging that gap requires more than capital. It requires expertise, leadership, and accountability. Infrastructure and project finance transactions are fundamentally different from other asset classes. They operate over long time horizons. They involve multiple stakeholders. They are shaped by regulation, public policy, technical complexity, and political realities. Most banks, investment banks, and financial institutions approach infrastructure as one business line among many. National Standard Finance does not. For institutional lenders and investors, infrastructure risk must be deeply understood, actively mitigated, and rigorously structured. For governments and sponsors, financing requires more than ideas or advisory. It requires a partner capable of translating policy and vision into bankable execution. When risk is poorly structured or advisory is disconnected from capital, projects stall, capital hesitates, and outcomes fall short. This is where National Standard Finance LLC and its affiliates play a unique role. National Standard Finance is a long-established United States-based global infrastructure financing and comprehensive advisory firm, and a lead private lender for institutional quality, risk-mitigated infrastructure, and project finance transactions. Unlike diversified financial institutions, infrastructure is National Standard Finance's only business. The firm's capital, expertise, and leadership are dedicated exclusively to infrastructure across global markets. National Standard Finance combines deep sector knowledge, global market experience, and institutional capital to deliver solutions that move projects from policy and concept through to financing and execution. Not just capital, not just advice, but integrated bankable solutions. National Standard Finance operates through a fully integrated senior-led model. The firm brings deep experience across infrastructure sectors and global markets, enabling it to understand not only financial risk, but regulatory environments, policy frameworks, and execution realities across jurisdictions. This begins at the policy and strategy level. National Standard Finance works closely with governments, sponsors, and public stakeholders to translate infrastructure policy and development objectives into commercially viable project frameworks. From there, the firm provides intensive, comprehensive advisory services, led by senior professionals, covering project structuring, financial modeling, risk allocation, and governance design. Unlike advisory-only firms, National Standard Finance remains accountable for outcomes. As a lead lender, the firm integrates institutional capital financing directly into its advisory process, ensuring that strategies are grounded in underwriting reality and aligned with institutional credit standards. This combination allows National Standard Finance to maintain greater control over outcomes because advice, structure, and capital are aligned from the outset. The result is bespoke structured finance solutions, tailored capital structures, clear risk mitigation, and projects designed to reach financial close. These are not theoretical recommendations. They are bankable plans. National Standard Finance supports infrastructure across sectors and geographies. These include energy and power infrastructure, transportation and logistics corridors, industrial and utility assets, and essential public infrastructure. Across both emerging and developed markets, the firm applies institutional standards while adapting to local policy, regulatory, and market conditions. By combining global perspective with local execution insight, National Standard Finance enables infrastructure projects to attract long-term institutional capital and deliver sustainable economic value. What differentiates National Standard Finance is integration and focus. Most institutions either provide capital without deep advisory engagement or advice without capital accountability. National Standard Finance does both. Infrastructure and project finance are the firm's exclusive mandate. By integrating senior-led advisory services with lender-led capital, National Standard Finance acts as a true partner, sharing responsibility for outcomes, not just transactions. This creates confidence for governments, sponsors, co-lenders, and institutional investors alike. Infrastructure defines economic resilience and long-term prosperity. But infrastructure only delivers impact when policy, execution, and finance are aligned. National Standard Finance exists to bring that alignment, combining deep infrastructure expertise, global market experience, best-in-class advisory, and institutional capital. Not just ideas, not just capital, but bespoke, bankable infrastructure solutions. Because the future depends on infrastructure, and infrastructure depends on disciplined, integrated finance.